1890 and 1900, there were only a handful of neighborhoods where African Americans could reside in St. Petersburg, Florida. In 1868, John Donaldson and Anna Germain became the first black settlers in the area, arriving in Lower Pinellas County after the Civil War and purchasing 40 acres of farmland near Salt Lake, known today as Lake McGorry. The Orange Belt Railway, which extended from Sanford to Tampa Bay, brought hundreds of black workers to the area, with most of them settling in Peppertown, which was east of 9th Street South between 3rd and 4th Avenues. Although the railroad was completed in 1889, many of the families grew and expanded throughout the area. In 1894, Methodist Town was founded and grew north of the railroad. It was the only neighborhood north of Central Avenue, bordering where Interstate 375 is today. Cooper's Quarters was located along 9th Street South and south of 1st Avenue, the northeast corner of where Tropicana Field sits today. The collective of communities became known as the gas plant neighborhood because of the natural gas cylinders that dominated the slowly expanding skyline of St. Pete. The raising of the gas plant neighborhood, in context, was a mass segregation project that began over 50 years ago and was the last in a line of forced relocations from Peppertown, Methodist Town, and ultimately the entire gas plant neighborhood. These relocations crippled the African American community's economic viability and changed the physical and social fabric of the city forever. The neighborhood's dismantling came first with the introduction of an interstate system. In 1970, plans to extend I-75 into Pinellas County took shape, despite many delays and protests from business owners and community leaders who pushed back against the government, stating that the intrusion of an interstate would negatively affect their livelihoods. However, after declaring the gas plant district a redevelopment area in 1978, the city used $11.3 million in federal community development grants to acquire the land through eminent domain and demolish the neighborhood. In 1980, construction of Interstate 175 was completed, situated on the raised Sugar Hill neighborhood, which was home to many firsts for St. Petersburg African American community. The first school, Davis Academy, the first medical treatment facility, and the first library. It was also home to the Harlem Theater, 13 churches, cemeteries, many local businesses, and hundreds of residents. The next step in dismantling St. Pete's thriving African American communities came soon after I-175. Instead of affordable housing and industry, Pinellas County began creating designs for a baseball stadium as early as 1983, before the area was even assigned a professional baseball team. The city council eventually voted 6-2 to build the sports stadium over honoring the promises made to the residents of the area. The 2 gas tanks that gave the gas plant district its name were demolished to make way for the stadium. And actual construction on the Florida Suncoast Dome, now known as Tropicana Field, began in 1986. All told, the city of St. Petersburg gathered more than 86 acres of previously occupied space, promising in writing that the neighborhood would be rebuilt with affordable housing and a modern industrial park, bringing with it 600 new jobs and $5.6 million in combined salaries by 1990, then reneged. In 2022, St. Pete's first African-American mayor, Kenneth T. Welch, announced the city is looking towards the gas plant district for Tropicana Field site redevelopment. In 2027, the Tampa Bay Rays baseball lease on Tropicana Field expires, leaving the city of St. Pete to explore plans to rebuild the stadium, affordable housing, community development, and, quote, equitable access to all residents, visitors, and stakeholders. In recent months, the city of St. Petersburg has been gathering input from locals on the redevelopment of the historic gas plant district where Tropicana Field currently sits. It sounds eerily similar to the promises made by the city 50 years ago, but we'll see how it goes. And if you didn't know, now you know.